like a huge, slimy heart, pink and wet, with tiny black eyes and purple veins, knotted on the top of its head, and a mouth cut into its belly. Throbbing. It's my monster, I cried.
You can't scare me, not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy calling all creeps. Boo dudes, welcome to a episode, if I've ever listened to one, of Calling All Creeps. It's episode 55. I'm your host Statler. I'm here with Waldorf. And we're ready. We're ready to rip a thick braid of knowledge. Isn't that right, Dave?
Our episodes are not half bad; they are all bad.
Right. I was doing the I was doing the Statler and Waldorf laugh. Well,
It happens.
Dave, what's going on with you? Just doing my daily episode check-in with you. How are you?
I thought I had something interesting to say, and I don't. Well, Chainsaw is running through boxes right now, trying to get his cone off.
Chainsaw is your cat, for the listeners.
Yes, he is. He's trying to get under the couch right now, which is not happening because the cone larger than under the couch.
He's chewing his little leg, right?
Yeah, he looks like a phonograph right now.
He looks like I tried to send you a GIF last night and I failed because I was looking for like the Victorian collars, like the fluffy queen collars.
Yeah, a little Shakespeare
Right,
neck.
exactly.
He's like killing Newman in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, that Barbasol, it was worth it.
Sure was.
Well, why delay any longer? I've already said a bunch of bullshit that doesn't matter or make sense.
Well, we didn't reference anyone's butthole yet, so just like...
I mean, there's plenty of time.
Hey, Matt, your butthole. Now that we've got that out of the way...
The elephant
we
in
have
the
the
room.
most guests we've ever had, ever.
Yes. Dave, will you introduce them? Even though they need no introduction.
Let them introduce themselves.
Who
We have a
are
returning
you?
guest and a new guest. Boys?
Well, hello there.
What was that faint
It's me.
cry? Was that you, Lou?
Yeah, it's my toenail falling off.
Oh, God.
It's me, Lou Morgue. It's me.
What's going on, Lou?
Just hanging out and picking my toes. That's
What-
pretty much it.
Yeah.
On a beautiful Sunday, on a rainy Sunday.
For the listeners, we had a group chat going before, and Lou was cutting his toenails with a Rambo knife. Just a normal Sunday, rainy Sunday activity.
Like jagged pieces of glass. It's so weird.
That's right. And we have double trouble today. We have Ant on the line as well. Ant, what's going on?
What's up? I'm Lou's toenail.
Sorry you were treated that way. You were cut off.
Did you cut your toenail today? Or was this just for like the surrounding meats?
Yeah, I do the sides. I try to get in there in the sides, and that's where I discovered that little hook tool to really get in there and yank and pull.
That's
and
fucking brutal.
separate the hard from the soft meats, and there's some callus going on in there, so I try to pull that out.
sinews.
And very weird.
You're not
Fresh
really a
meat.
toenail. Not really a good reference. Not really a toenail cutter, but a sculptor.
Yeah, and also I have so on the other end of the toe spectrum, the little pinky toenails, I like to pull them off because I hate them. So you kind of it's like a little iceberg with a little meat chunkle at the bottom.
Meat
You
chunkles.
pull them out. Yeah, a little chunkle.
Wait, you pull out the whole toenail?
Yeah, I hate them. I hate them to death.
Oh my god, that's like the idea of that. It's like a part of the movie. You close your eyes.
No.
You live like Hostel 3, Lou's feet.
Like when I'm in bed
It's
at
not
night.
in Europe anymore.
Yeah, Lou's life is directed by Ari Roth or whatever the fuck. Eli Roth.
Yeah, like I can't sleep at night, and I'm trying to read, and I'm like, I know it's there. It's like brushing against the blanket, and I gotta like yank it off and bleed all over the place, and
Ugh.
yeah.
Sounds
Like
a little
an Edgar Allan
compulsive, my
Poe.
man. Yeah, a Poe
Like-
situation.
Yeah, like it's just like I feel it growing within me. It is back.
It's like the telltale, the telltale toenail.
That's something.
That's,
You're on something.
that's
man.
literature humor there. That's some literature humor, guys.
Yeah. That sounds like a Stein title.
Yeah.
Well, boys, thank you for joining us. And Lou, thanks for coming back. Lou, we've had you before, but question just to refresh our listeners, and also a question I'd like to pose to Ant is we like to get to know our guests through Goosebumps. So can you tell us, both of you, a little bit about your history and your relationship to the series, if any?
Yeah, go ahead, Ant.
I guess, I mean, I don't know. Like, I used to read them when I was, like, younger and stuff. And, like, I didn't get to read a whole lot. So, like, now I like to find them and, like, read them and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Did you like them when you were younger?
I mean, I don't really remember. So I didn't read, like, too many. So I had to, like, it's kind of cool to, like, hunt them down and, like, you know, go back and, like, read some.
Yeah.
Like, some were, like, booty, but, like, this one was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and then like I guess I read the first couple, maybe the first 10, before I gave up on them, and they were cool because it's like, you know, a horror series, like a new horror series, but and of course the covers are amazing.
Yeah.
But now it's more cool because you guys are super into it, and Ant's into collecting the books again, so it's more of a like you're at a thrift store, you're like, oh, like, this is like a Goosebumps book. I don't know if anybody has this now, and
like I guess I would say like you guys kind of like refreshed it again, you know, like hearing like Lou was gonna be on your podcast, like, you know, it's kind of cool, like getting back into it and like hearing you guys, you know. So
bless
I
you
would
for saying
give
that.
it to both of you guys, like you guys, you know, made it cool again.
Wow. You hear that, Dave? Look what we did.
You hear that? More importantly, you hear that, R.L. Stein?
Yeah.
You're fucking welcome.
Where's my
Here's our
check,
check.
bitch?
you know, I wonder if that's the thing too, is like how many people like listen to the podcast that you know got back into Goosebumps because of it. Maybe picked up a couple older ones, or you know, dug through their attics or basements or something and found some old books and started reading them again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of curious to see how many people you guys touched out there.
Hey, if we've touched you, please get at us. Comment in Instagram. And
Also, don't tell anyone or I'll hurt your dog.
no one will believe you.
No one will believe you.
Yeah, no, that's great, and I think that's a big thing that you guys touched on is collectability. It's like the stories are what they are. Some of them are really cool, some of them are not, as we've covered. But it's, as we've said many times before, it's the covers, it's the collectability of them that makes them especially cool, and the nostalgia. Lou, like you said, going back, picking up a crate of books from your mom's basement or whatever, and kind of ruffling through them. It's just kind of a fun thing. I like every week when we finish an episode, I take out the new book and I just kind of like flip through it. And sometimes like I wrote stuff in it when I was a kid, and it's just sort of a fun thing.
And like, by the way, you said you read like the first 10 and then dipped. Dude, like, smart move.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
That's pretty cool. I mean, this is the first ray of sunshine in a pretty bleak,
It's been a slog.
downhill slope at the end of the
Yeah.
Goosebumps series. But
Agreed.
Yeah, like
But
you could tell because the last couple episodes, it's there's a lot of Matt's ass discussion.
Which is not
And,
like us.
Yeah, and then like, you know, like, oh yeah, by the way, we read this book, and like let's get back talking about other stuff. Let's talk about like life and everything. So it's there are just some rough ones in there.
Yeah.
And I'd like to ask you guys, like, at this point in RL's kind of lifespan of the books, like, where do you think he was? Like, do you think he was just kind of like fulfilling contracts? Do you think he was not into it anymore? Like, what's your guys' take on it?
Dave?
that's interesting because I think we are in the height of Goosebumps.
Okay.
This is like max capacity of what Goosebumps was. The past couple books had episodes of the TV show that aired the same week as the book or the same month that the book came out. So like the TV show was there, it matched the books he was writing, and he was still one a month on all of these. He was also doing the Choose Your Own Adventures, Give Yourself Goosebumps. The reprints were coming out in those like book lights. There were Halloween masks, kids' board games. There were like everything was Goosebumps at this point. He was
A lot of
raking in the
licensing.
money, and I think to this point he was fulfilling that 62. And I think there were others, like they just kind of ended it there. It was like a contract thing. And it kind of led its way into Goosebumps 2000. But also, I know coming up, we'll probably get to it, there was a weird contractual obligation with Scholastic that he ended at one point. And kind of came back and then left again. So Goosebumps Gold was supposed to be a series.
Oh, that's right.
And there are a few books from that have come out in like the Most Wanted series recently, but there are still books that exist in like a, shitty book.doc on R.L. Stein's Windows 95 computer.
Yeah.
That's
What, like,
loaded with
unreleased?
hentai.
Yeah.
Yeah, unreleased books.
Huh.
Unreleased books.
Goosebumps
But,
Gold is a compelling series name,
Yeah. It's just like Goosebumps Premium.
Yeah, right.
It's like, these are the highbrow
Before,
Goosebumps
like,
books.
we live in this age of, like, plus and premium content and shit that you pay more for, like, different tiers of things. But this was pre all that.
Free to play.
It'd be cool
But if you want to win.
if he wants to jump on Modern Times, he could like totally do like a blind bag Goosebumps thing where you don't know which book you're gonna get, and there's like the exclusive Chase book where there's only like 20 of them out there, and
Kind of like, like what Topps has been doing. I know
Exactly.
I wanted to bring this up because you guys are collectors and card collectors, and yeah, but I mean, they do things where they'll come out with a series, they'll revitalize older franchises, like, Mars Attacks, Garbage Pail Kids, which R.L. Stein is in right now, but one of the big things they'll work with, like, I don't know, skateboard brands, and they'll have skateboards, but they'll send out some to artists, and they'll do blind bag decks, or they'll do artist card series. Like, there's so much out there, and Goosebumps is, still very big. Like, it surprises me how like widespread it is at this point.
Yeah. Well, the movies have breathed a lot of life into the series again and made it relevant, and the books are still going.
Yeah, despite a lot of the well, that's unfair because we read that one Night Howler book that was
Yeah, it sucked
atrocious,
ass.
but there
Yeah.
could be other good ones.
There could be. Probably not, but there
There's
could
like
be.
a new Goosebumps book coming out, right?
Yeah, they're continuing the Monster Blood.
Monster Blood is back,
franchise,
baby.
which I think it makes it like it's like the
Number
sixth,
6, right?
Yeah, 6th or 7th. Because
Yeah.
there's like 4 in the first 62. Then there's like Monster Blood for breakfast or sometime. I don't know. Like once you get to like Monster Blood for dinner, like the next one is like just Monster Blood now.
Monster
like, well,
Blood.
There's
Part 7, diarrhea.
Yeah, that's right.
Blood Monster.
oh, he mixed it up.
All right.
But Dave, adding to what you were saying, is he capitalizing on all that stuff right now? Like I know that there's a Garbage Pail Kid kind of crossover, but is he doing anything? Like, do you guys know if he's doing anything outside of that? Like, is there new merchandise coming out, or is there more stuff coming out?
So I noticed around Halloween time, I went into a Spirit Halloween, and
Not familiar.
there is.
But go ahead.
Well, how about this? Just go find any models and wait for next like September,
Yeah.
and you're there.
For them
You're
to
there.
crawl into the carcass.
Yeah, the parasitic Halloween store, but they had like two, like a generic slappy mask, a premium slappy mask. They had tons of just like socks and things.
Okay.
Creepy Co did that collab with them, and that was supposed to be a limited thing, and now it's just like generally they just produce Goosebumps merchandise, t-shirts and stuff. It shows up a little bit of everywhere. He has his graphic novels, which come out every now and then. He did that cover with Jacobus. Those
TV
come out.
shows.
He has TV shows is on the way. He's doing Garbage Pail Kids. He is doing virtual like sessions now that he can't tour, because he was doing tours of Barnes and Noble. You could get him for your bookstore event. It costs, I think, over $10,000 just to get him to come and do a signing.
Man.
I mean, the thing too is, like, to his credit, is he's not marketing off of the popularity of Goosebumps now, because like there's no movie The TV shows are announced, but they're not on their way out. Netflix is doing the Fear Street 3-part movie in the future, but like, it's more that this man has never fucking stopped. Like, It's not about marketing or if it's popular, if it's not popular. Even when it wasn't popular, he was still going. Like, he never stopped writing books and putting shit out. Like, this man is just, I don't know, he just prints money. Even if it sucks. If it's like a, sometimes he'll print a 20, sometimes he'll print a nickel. But, like, he's constantly working. Momentum. He is, like, the definition of on the grind.
So
just like James Patterson.
So did you guys notice, like, is there going to be eventually, like, in the book series, as you guys are reading through them, is there going to be a decline in, like, these are the twilight years of the first run of Goosebumps?
I think we're in it.
Oh, so we hit the peak and now we're going down the side of the mountain.
Oh yeah, in the original series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we started descending in the early 30s, I would say.
Oh boy.
I mean,
I'm gonna go and try to find the last good book.
Yeah, I mean, there are some standouts. Like Blob is famously, like, this was one that stands out. We've said before, we like the camp books. We just like that as a setting. So I have high hopes for the next book, which is Curse of Camp Cold Lake. But largely, and then number 62 is Monster Blood 4. So that's kind of a cool thing because that's a big book for Goosebumps is Monster Blood. But
yeah, because like looking at the past books, we just did, going in backwards order, we just did Don't Go to Sleep, sucked. Chicken, awful. Learn to Fly, How I Learned to Fly, sucked. Beware of the Snowman, hit or miss. Calling All Creeps, kind of fun. Monster Breath, meh. Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns was kind of fun. Legend of the Lost Legend, terrible. Like, it's just, the last 10 have been, if this was a sports team, we would not be making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, all the huge touchstones that everybody knows about Goosebumps are within the 10s and the 20s, the 10s and 20s. The first 30 books are the biggest, and there are even some stinkers in there, but those are the icons. And then there are some few bright spots since then, but largely we're just sort of churning through them. And to be honest, I have a little bombshell for everyone. I don't really give a shit about the Goosebumps world beyond this. Like, I have strong, fond memories attached to the original Goosebumps series. I like R.L. Stine. But as an adult man, I don't really fucking care necessarily. Like, I like that he's still active and still doing stuff, because that, I think on a subconscious level, probably like means that like my childhood is still alive in some regard. Like, to see that end or to see him pass away or something would be devastating on like a subconscious level. But but as far as his actual content, I'm not really seeking it out.
It's kind of like Weezer.
Yeah.
Where, like, people are like, oh, they did an 80s thing. And I'm like, whatever. But, like, if they were, like, doing a live playthrough of Pinkerton for an anniversary, I'd be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah. And, I mean, it's still, there's a lot I still want to take a peek at. Like, we're saying he's continued, like, Bride of the Living Dummy is, like, a later book. Like we're saying, Monster Blood has continued. He's brought back The Mummy. Like, so there are these touchstones of things that existed when we were kids and we're very fond of. And it's always like, it's like when they make a new Star Wars movie, people are like, "A girl be Jedi? I'm mad." But like, it's fun to explore a world and live in it. But like when the world is like, who gives a shit? Like when it's so separate, it's just like, maybe there'll be a Mandalorian in there. Neat. But, like, if it's, within the world and it has nothing to do with it, especially because these are Monster of the Weeks, it could be anything and have no bearing on the past series. So, it's hit or miss.
I was gonna ask a question. I mean, could have just easily look it up ourselves, but did RL do one of those masterclass things?
Yes.
He has a masterclass.
I think so. Let me confirm.
I don't know if it's branded as like masterclass with that thing. Let's see.
He does. He teaches
He does.
writing children's books. I thought I saw
Did
it
you guys?
on there.
Any of you guys check it out? Like, you guys?
No.
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
punctuate poorly on my own.
no. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure.
Wow, we're just dunking on him right now. I feel so bad.
No, I'm sure
I'm
it's
just kind of
valuable.
curious at this point. Yeah, and I'm just kind of curious at this point in the podcast, kind of where you guys are at as far as like, you know, like you've toughed it out through this whole thing, and it's almost like you were saying, like, you know, you have a movie series and say there's a couple of the stinkers in there, and you're like, oh boy, we got to make it through these, and then what happens after?
Yeah, that's an interesting way to frame it in my mind, like a movie series that you love, but some of the entries kind of suck. Like take Star Wars, for example. I think the Goosebumps series, for me personally, occupies a different space and is not totally comparable, because I think I have a separate individual insulated fondness for the 1 through 62, and that just sort of exists on its own as like a chunk of time and a chunk of content that I enjoy, and I've divorced myself from the rest of the series. I don't know, it is maybe more akin to like Dave's example of a band that you like a lot, and then like you hit a certain point and it's like, fuck the rest of it. I kind of tuned out after whatever. Like, I don't know, My Chemical Romance. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything after Black Parade, or like whoever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
But a movie series, like if they came out with John Wick 4 and it was not very good, I'd still be like, fuck, I'm so excited for 5. Like, I'm going to consume it with everything I have, because that's like my favorite movie series.
But if they made a movie that was like, John Wick killed this guy in number 2, and we're going to go through his whole training procedure and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, okay.
Because that story evolves. The R.L. Stein, the format is like as we've said, it'll be like, now Slappy has a wife, and that's when it's at its best, right? Because it's calling back to something you're familiar with. But otherwise, as Dave said, it's like a monster of the week. It's like, oh, okay, the same exact template, almost to a point of like copying and pasting, and you like change the monster, the keywords. It's like a Mad Lib. So, you know, I think, again, I love RL. I think he's doing a great job, especially for like an 80-year-old guy who has a lot of wisdom, obviously has created this empire.
80 years old?
He's like 76 or 77.
Wow, man.
But just for me at this point, I don't really care about that. I just...
He's 77.
There you go.
Damn.
I just care about the books I read when I was a kid.
And I have one last like question before we talk about like pee holes and diarrhea and stuff.
Yes, please. I'm dying.
This always happens. Anytime we bring you on, you're a better host than we are.
No, actually, it's generally a question for both you guys. Like, so when you were reading the original series or reading them in school, and was there a point where everybody was like, "Oh my God, Goosebumps, Goosebumps," and then people just kind of started falling off, and you guys are still reading them? And did you guys get made fun of? Did you have to read them in secret? Were you like, I don't give a crap, I'm going to read these Goosebumps books in front of you? Make fun of me all you want.
Yeah.
Give me a wedgie.
Dave, what's your response?
I don't think it wasn't really like Goosebumps books ever became lame. And it's also, I think, a thing where like you grow and what you're reading changes. Like there's like a reading level. Like I think I stopped reading Goosebumps when it was no longer like when I stopped getting book reports. Like, you know what I mean? Like I read most of my Goosebumps, like, yeah, I would read at night before I went to bed. Once you stop getting like book reports and stuff, it would kind of be like, you know, I'm in middle school or whatever, and you're like, all right, you got to read Catcher in the Rye or something. And I'm like, nah, I think I want to read Chicken. Like, like, so it's not even like it's, no one would be like, you're reading this? Lame. It just like, you shift. Like, I was more excited about like playing Pokemon and Nintendo 64. And like, if somebody had like, you know, private reading or solo reading time at school and there was a Goosebumps book and someone chose it, like, it wouldn't be like lame. It was just kind of, you know, it was meant for a specific reading level, and you don't, if you stay in that reading level for the entirety of Goosebumps, then you have to see a doctor. Like, something's up.
Sure.
We gotta help you out. We gotta figure it out. And it doesn't mean you can't like it. Like but it's like a lot of people that have been on this podcast, it really leads into other things. Like other people started with Goosebumps and immediately made their way over to Stephen King. And they kind of grew their horror love as they grew up. So
yeah,
I think it's just kind of like it's the gateway to other things.
Before Matt answers, Dave, do you think that Matt has a copy of some Goosebumps book that he would read? And when you measure your height as a kid growing, do you think he'd put his wiener in the book? So right in the middle of the book, there's these little marks that are, my wiener grew a little bit, quarter inch today and stuff. And as he got older, he would measure against the book.
Yeah, Dave, what do you think?
Do you think he did that, or?
Well, here's the thing. I know Matt has a very flat wiener.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Flat and
very
small.
Flat, so it does fit in the book. Well, yeah. So it's
yeah. You know what book I did the most to?
What?
Sticky. It was the Chicken sequel. A lot of people don't know it.
Yeah. You could have gone with cock.
I could have, but I don't know if you'd call this a cock.
Urethra.
Yeah. Yeah.
How I got my paper cut.
I did do that, and I have many centimeters to show for it. So thank you for asking. For your question, Lou, I would piggyback
About punguses?
About funguses. Is that what you said?
Pungus. No, punguses.
Pungus.
What's a pungus?
What's a pungus?
What? Yeah, you brought it up. What's
It's a
describe
wiener. It's a little schwiener.
A little
What?
schwiener? Wait, now you have to define schwiener.
No, I cannot believe that we've been doing this podcast for this long and have learned a new word for wiener. This is incredible.
Now you know.
That's true.
What is
I
it?
always refer to my wiener as my pungus.
Wow.
Pungus. I like pud
Pud is
a
good.
lot. Mm-hmm. Pud is cute.
Pungus is fun.
I feel like pud would evolve into a pungus.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like it starts
leveled
off
up.
as a little caterpillar, a little pud, and then it grows into a beautiful pungus and flies away.
I love that.
A little pungachu.
But anyway, this book is called The Blob That Ate Everyone.
Yes. When did it come
It is
out?
book 55. It came out in May of 1997. The top songs at that time were Hypnotized by Notorious B.I.G.
Wow.
Oh.
And in a very similar fashion, same genre, same everything, same intensity, Bop by Hanson.
Hell yeah.
And the top movies at this point started off with Fifth Element,
Oh.
which is like
Excellent.
such a 90s... I don't know why I thought that was-
Multipass.
It's good.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. All I remember is like that girl's boobs and orange hair, because like that costume is like whoa. And then every Comic-Con, there's always somebody wearing that, and it's like if you have the balls to wear it. Well, actually, if you have balls, it is going to be very hard to wear because it's just like a little strap, and you it would be like your dick's covered, but each ball would be on the other side.
Nice.
But yeah, good for you. And some self-esteem that I could never
Bop was
muster.
the kids from the blonde kids from Tool Time or whatever, right? that was them.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. It was all them.
Yeah.
It was like some Christian
JTT
children
and all
with
that
long
and
hair.
them.
Yep.
They wore their airwalks. They were a family band. It was nice for them. I had a cousin who was super into Hanson. Like super into Hanson.
Wow.
Had t-shirts and shit and like started, he's like a music teacher now, and actually I think like when he started like learning piano and drums and all this stuff, he like learned it to play Hanson songs.
Oh man.
Right? You never know. You're all into different things. And the next movie was Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
Which is a favorite of mine. I like that almost as much as the first one.
Really?
Wait, is that the one with is it the third one or second one?
Second one.
Yeah, that's the one with the T-Rex runs around downtown city.
Yeah, and like Jeff Goldblum has like a little gymnastics daughter who like does like a parallel bars and kicks a raptor like off a cliff.
That rules.
Well, I just remember the scene where 2 T-Rexes grab a man from each leg and tear him in half long ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's like sticks in my head as like one of those like super gory scenes that you see young and you're like, oh, that's sticking with me. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Can I see that again?
In honor of Jurassic World, I'm sorry. In honor of Jurassic World, Ant, can you do the Jeff Goldblum laugh for us?
Sorry, there's like a 10-hour loop of like Jeff Goldblum just laughing like that. Lou likes to play it at the shop and stuff. It's pretty good.
God. My favorite thing to put on in that way is there's a version of The Best of You or whatever it's called by the Foo Fighters. But, you know, like in the beginning, basically it's the entire song, but they just loop him going like, the best, the best, the best. And he just does the best, and there's no other lyrics the whole song. It's just the best over and over and over and over.
I love it. I love it.
But I have some shit about Jurassic Park. It was the widest release. It was the widest release of all time, opening in 3,565 theaters and broke Batman Forever's record of 52.7 million for the highest weekend debut in the summer for a PG-13 film.
Dave, I don't want to hear about your widest release, okay?
I was trying to think of a joke. Beat me to it.
And I have some news. This one comes from across the pond. On May 1st, Tony Blair was elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
The magician, Tony Blair.
Yeah, same one.
Nice.
God.
And then some more magic happened and changed the way forever that we saw the UK. And it's not the death of Princess Diana. It's the most important documentary of all time. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, starring Mike Myers and Elizabeth Hurley, is released the next day.
Yeah,
That's right.
I know that's your bag,
behave.
baby.
I like how his chest had a lot of hair.
Me too.
Oh.
Hey, zip it. On May 5th, Married with Children had its final episode on Fox TV.
Okay.
That's
Nice.
weird that they put it that way. And then on May 24th, actor Tim Allen is arrested for drunk driving in Michigan. I just added that one in because we sure like dunking on that fuck.
Wait, the Hanson dad?
Tim Hanson's dad.
Wow,
His
full
kids
circle.
were doing so well. He could finally afford all that high top shelf alcohol for driving.
Yeah.
Is that it was like right? That was it?
That's what he was Scooby Dooing into the breathalyzer. That's why. That's why they arrested him.
That's it. About this book, obviously, it takes from the 1958 movie The Blob.
Yeah.
It has received 2 reprints, the border reprint, as we call them, and a modern one, which has a pretty metal cover. Jacobus says that this is one of his top 10 favorite covers, which is cool. It looks like Lou's toe.
It for sure does.
Throbbing.
It's throbbing.
veiny,
It's all like
wet.
It's veiny. There's cuts. It's covered in trash.
It's eating a bicycle.
But there are other covers that are pretty sick. Actually, we have a video component right now on this call as we are socially distanced, so I can show you guys the other covers, and we'll post these, of course. This is my favorite. This is the French reprint cover.
Oh, the bleb.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So it looks like a little like turtle head with a big tongue poking out, and they're at like the Champs Elysees or something.
Yeah, oui. This is
French fries.
the Korean.
Oh, that's
Oh,
excellent.
wow, that's awesome.
For the listeners, this is just a close up of like a salivating, fucked up brain face. Looks like Krang.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Wait, I'm not getting that. I'm looking at a Caesar salad now. What are you guys looking at? What are you guys looking at?
We got Krang and a little boy, and then we
Caesar
got
salad.
this is when they took a turn. This is the Italian reprint cover. This guy didn't do his homework.
Oh my
just-
god!
Oh.
It's
like
like
a weird
a
squid.
tentacle monster that's
Hey.
purple with 1,000 eyes and like crazy teeth. None of this is described in the book.
No.
This
Stop
guy
with your
just went,
bitching. No bitch to me. No bitch to me.
other things that I found out about this book. R.L. Stine listed the Blob That Ate Everyone among his best monsters when asked on Twitter. On that list as well, of course, he said Slappy the Evil Dummy. He had a Jelly Jam, which is basically this monster except sweatier and fucking fatter.
100%.
And he said the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena, Monster Blood, and Frankenstein's Dog, which I guess that's a book. Another thing that's crazy, this is just a weird one. They asked Jack Black, who plays R.L. Stine in the movie, what his favorite Goosebumps book is, and he said that his favorite book is The Blob That Ate Everyone. But they asked R.L. Stine what his favorite Jack Black movie is. Can you guys guess which one it is?
Look at what's the one where he goes to college and his little brother's going to college or something like that?
Orange County?
Yeah, is it that one?
Hello, how?
No.
Nacho Libre.
No.
Shit.
It's like
Nacho
the one where
Bleeble.
What?
if somebody asked your favorite Jack Black movie and you answered this, I'd be like, oh, okay, legit. But to hear R.L. Stine be like, oh yeah, High Fidelity. You're like, what?
That was what I was gonna say
Oh,
first.
Yeah, weird. I was trying to figure out something like a small part out. That's interesting.
You'd expect him to like not watch any movie and just pick out like a trailer he saw recently and be like, School of Rock.
Maybe
But,
he's a John
like-
Cusack fan.
Yeah, isn't that well? Or maybe he just read the book as a novelist himself and enjoyed it. But yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy that R.L. Stine likes High
Yeah.
Fidelity.
Not like the Pick of Destiny or anything.
Imagine. He's like, well, I really just like the Tenacious D HBO episodes.
Juicy.
Yeah. I have some stuff about the TV episode. The only thing I really want to say is that they dunked on R.L. Stine because it's about, of course, the same thing with this plot. A kid who writes horror stories. So he's writing his first story and he's just like, all right, reader beware, you're in for a scare. And then he looks at it and he's like, nah, ugh, like deletes it. And there's a point, the worst joke ever. And it's not written by R.L. Stine. It's written by whoever wrote this episode and it sucks. So they say, he's, of course, like, Adam scares them. And he's just like, oh, you think that was funny? And he goes, really funny. You should be on stage. To which Adam says, you really think so? And Zach says, yeah, the one that leaves at noon.
Whoa.
Oh, that's
Like
deep.
a stage
That's
production.
multi-layered. That's multi-layered right there.
Like a Western fucking...
That sucks.
It really sucks. And it actually makes it okay that he's such a bully to me. Because, like, I would punch anybody in the stomach who made that joke now. And
I wouldn't
stand
even
by it.
understand it.
Also, instead of having the Blob destroy a town because they can't do that, he destroys a video rental store, to which there's an X-Files poster in the background. And I thought that was pretty neat. So,
Hell yeah.
Oh, and
cool.
speaking of Jack Black, was it Be Kind Rewind? They could have totally used that. Destroying a video store. They could have redid that episode.
That's true.
in that.
they could have. And also, speaking about Jack Black,
I'm sorry,
the
everyone.
Blob,
It was terrible.
the Blob appears as an antagonist in the Goosebumps film. And actually, the plot of this book is kind of the plot of the first Goosebumps movie.
Yeah.
So Slappy puts the Blob on R.L. Stine, says he was saving this one for him, implying that it has a more personal attachment because that movie, if you haven't seen it, basically R.L. Stine writes the books and they come to life. In the end, they like rewrite how the movie is happening so it can end and they save the day. So it's basically the plot of this book just for the whole franchise.
So I have to interject something here. Breaking news. I did not read the last chapter on purpose. So I want to be surprised in real time when you guys all talk about it.
Wow.
This may be the best book for that because we need to get to a point where you have to guess the twist.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it was only like 2 pages, right? The last
Yeah.
It's too much. I couldn't do it. I was like, oh boy.
a page and a half. Whoa.
Well, if you guys read the beginning, then you know the plot. And the best part about having guests is that we get to live the easy life.
Oh, boys, bring us through that plot and do me a favor, spare details. Give us a broad summation. Now, please.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
You got Zachy, an insane name, right?
It's ridiculous.
Zachy
It's my favorite
Beauchamp?
Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Zachy, Tommy,
Alex.
Kimberly, JC.
Oh, wait, do I have a card for this one?
Floppy.
I think it's in the other book. I'm not going to go get it. Boys, what happens? We got Zachy at home, right? And our first chapter is sort of interesting because it's a series of different stories written by Zachy, as Zachy is an aspiring young author, which is kind of fun. A little he likes writing spooky little stories and showing them off to his friends Alex and Adam, sort of, although Adam is a bully a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why they're like, yeah, I have two best friends. Alex, it's strange that she is a girl because she has boys' name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. And my good friend Adam, who we are friends with, but he fucking sucks and is an asshole all the time. There's no redeeming qualities to Adam.
No. Except that he just pushes back a little bit.
Lou, go. Tell us the plot.
See, I don't know what you guys read because I read a story about a family that the parents always argued a lot and they bickered and snapped at each other, and a young man who had a lot of rage issues and self-confidence issues. There's parts in the book where the dad, he's like, hey, bud, you want to get some ice cream? And he's like, nah, man, I'm going to write my typewriter and stuff. And the dad was very disappointed. So I don't know about any blob monsters and stuff. I just read a book about like a crumbling family. So I don't know what you guys read. Maybe it was in the last chapter. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. But.
I think you're right.
Probably was.
You're right. And Zachy tries to lose himself in his craft of writing.
He also gets struck by lightning, which was a crazy thing to not tell. He's like, I don't want to tell my parents I got struck by lightning because I'll have to see a doctor.
Yeah.
And he gets he writes stories. We start in a fake story he only writes about his friends. He just writes his own fan fiction. You ever think there's stories that he hides under his bed and Alex is just like, can I see those? And he's like, no, those are for me.
With the twins, the stories about the twins, me and the twins, even though they were bullies to me, that one night in the pool house.
Yeah.
They're all his Dear Penthouse
I am
letters?
6 feet tall and have real cool hair. Also, I'm wearing a leather jacket. I
Me and
pull
the
up
twins
in my
and Boba
cool
Fett.
car.
Yeah. I guess they stumbled into a thrift shop, I guess, that got hit by lightning. And being a Stephen King fan, I thought this was going to be a very Needful Things type situation where it's like a magic. I guess he finds a magic. He finds a typewriter and the woman who I guess ran the place, who's now out of business, gave him a pen as well to go write. He's like, I'm like a writer. And they
Typewriter.
yeah, exactly. It was a typewriter, and they carried this apparently 4,000-pound typewriter back to his house.
Question: do you think this lady was Beyonce? Because it was Mrs. Carter, and they weirdly said that she was African American.
That's true.
Oh man,
That's true.
Yeah, R.L. Stine, they were probably like, hey, we need inclusivity. So every now and then, the past couple books, it'd be like, this is a character who is an African American.
Which honestly, works against him. It just feels awkward.
Yeah, it was really jarring. Very jarring.
Because he's never my name is Zachy. I'm a white male. It's he only specifies when someone is quote unquote different, which really is not necessary.
It's just so I was at the grocery store and I was talking to the cashier, Asian.
Yeah.
And I then the person behind me, white woman.
Yeah.
It's
every
so
every
weird.
boomer I talk to, and every parent is always like, my neighbor, who's black, by the way. And it's like, why? What? Why was that necessary? Or like the Comcast guy came out. He was Indian. And it's like, I don't need to fucking know everyone's ethnicity.
You're like, oh, sick. I got that race bingo card right here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank God. Look at this. Straight across.
Bingo. I win inclusivity. Way to go, R.L. Stein. But yeah, so Beyonce was there and gives him a typewriter after the boy gets hit by lightning.
Yeah,
which is just wild.
Yeah, well, the shop is in disarray because it got all fucked up by lightning. But then also he gets a shock when he touches the typewriter and he passes out. But yeah, Miss Carter, who is the shopkeeper, is there. And for some reason, she's just like slinking about. I don't know what's going on there. But she gives him the typewriter. He was going to steal it anyway, we should mention. But she gives it to him and also gives him it's like a fountain pen.
Yeah, like a quill pen or something like that. Yeah.
So that's cool. And they take it home. And he's getting ready to give it a spin. Does he start to write with it right away, or is there some like filler bullshit before that?
Doesn't the dad like take it and like fix it or something? Like,
yeah, that's right.
Puts like a new ribbon in there.
Yeah, so
oils it up.
Yeah, big time filler.
Dad, what are you doing? I'm in the basement looping. Don't come down here.
My pungus is out.
My pungus is out. And he starts typing. Dad's pungus grew 3 times its size. He looks down. Whoa!
Throbbing.
I was thinking, like, okay, we need to get to the thing because I have so many questions about it. Basically, like, they bring it back. There's all this bullshit. They talk about how they love to eat at, like, Adam's house because his mom cooks good food and shit. Yeah. But, like, they start writing, and the story starts with, it was a dark and stormy night.
Classic.
And the night gets dark and stormy.
Yep.
Then he says
when it was a clear night.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's
important. And then it's like the wind began to howl, and the wind howls. And he says Alex and Zachy were alone in the dark house, listening to the storm. And like his dad disappears. And then they say they heard a knock at the door, and then they hear a knock at the door, and they go down. No one's there. They say it's like, well, you didn't write anybody was there. So they write Adam, drenched with rain, Adam stood on the front porch. Adam knocked on the front door. Knocks on the door, and he's like, I don't know why I came here. I was just driven to do this. Then to prove that they have the power, they say the storm stopped suddenly. All was quiet. Too quiet. And then Adam is like a real fuck and says, the blob monster hid in Zachy's basement waiting for fresh meat.
Yeah,
as he runs out of the house.
Which
so he took the time to sit down, quickly type that out, like not on a computer, but on an old-timey typewriter, and then run out of the house.
Yeah.
He's like, a prank. Click, 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 click. Next line, click. He's
yeah,
like,
they
stop,
could do
no. Hold on, click.
Erase.
Yeah, to write
and not to put a roadblock in the plot already, but like talk about filler, man. So I got in my notes, chapter 14 through 20 is Alex and Zachy arguing about, did that really happen? That didn't really happen. That's not
that
true.
went
That
on
didn't
for
happen.
like ever.
Yeah.
There's literally 6 chapters of that, and it's like, oh, you wasted like put yourselves in that mind frame of like, oh my god, I can't believe this just happened. Wouldn't you be like, hey, I don't know, like a mushroom man or a pungus man appeared in my bedroom, and like you're like, oh wow, it's really happening, and
his dad just is there again. He's like, sup?
He's like, he turns around slowly, like,
hey.
But that was interesting. How it, like just a waste of like a good couple chapters of some cool stuff you could do.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to ask. If you had this power, this typewriter, what would you do?
Oh, I'd fill my body. Well, I'd get rid of all my body hair, and then I'd just have like weird growths, like weird nubby growths everywhere.
You would type that
I would write weed. Just fucking weed. I woke up and there was weed on my bed. Oh, cool.
Imagine it's just like,
you know, like The Shining, like ants, like weed on my bed, weed on my bed, weed on my bed.
I was just gonna say The Shining. They look and it's like 100 pages that just say weed. Period. Weed. Period.
But it's
Just an example.
I'd be
of
nervous
what I would do,
that's like a monkey's paw wish, because then you'd get the weed on your bed, and then like the fucking cops put you in jail for 100 years for a minor drug charge.
Well, not anymore. Right?
Not anymore. That's true. But still,
Not
monkey's
anymore.
paw wishes have no rules.
Well, in New Jersey, apparently, since it was voted on becoming legal, that weed is now legal in New Jersey, they arrested and jailed 4,000 people.
Oh my god.
They were like, shit, while it's still illegal, we really got to get them.
Yeah, I think just recently in the past
Insane.
week, it is now totally street legal up to a certain amount.
It
Like,
is.
you can go out and
It
smoke a
is,
joint
but,
on the street.
Which is
That's
why
right.
we're
Let's
making
focus.
jokes right now. So the
Let's
podcast
focus.
police
Let's focus,
doesn't get
guys.
us.
Yeah.
Let's focus. We're talking about Blobs.
Yeah,
guys.
cool.
We
I would watch the news and instantly make somebody shit themselves live and just watch it.
I just want to type one line. Just give me one sentence that says all my student debt is absolved, and then I'd be happy. I'd give it back to you.
Okay, so what happens if you type in, "Oh, my student debt is absolved," but you spell absolved wrong? Then what happens?
It's absorbed, and
It's
then
And then I have just like I have like a big belly and it's all filled with cash or something.
yeah, but you would shit money. And that
That's
would
cool.
hurt, but be pretty neat.
Yeah, it'd be kind of gross if it was like, is it cash like just clean bills or is it covered in shit?
It's all nickels.
Oh,
Yeah, and if you have a magic typewriter and you suck at spelling or like dyslexic or something, what happens?
I guess nothing, right? If it can't recognize the characters, it's just like error.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like loops it.
Yeah.
What if like it's like an iPhone and it's just like, oh no, all these supermodels are trying to duck me.
Then it would just be
They'll hide
like
from you
my
instead
life
of
like
fuck
normal.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there, Adam types that there's a blob in the basement. He's like, ha ha ha, and he runs away. And then they do spend 9 chapters trying to discern if it was all coincidence or if they actually have power. Here, Zacky's dad comes back, right? And he's like, oh, I went across the street or something to find a light bulb. I don't know what the fuck. And, and then they go down into the basement and there's nothing there. Ultimately, they think they hear something, but it's just like a glove.
Or condom, I think it
I
was.
think it was a used condom. And
flapping in the window.
Well, maybe that's the fresh meat. It's just dad's pungus.
yeah.
No evidence. I can't leave evidence when I jerk off in the basement.
And what's in the world of pungus and pungi? What is jizz? Does that have like a corollary, like a corresponding name?
That would be like spores.
Spores. So you got a pungus sock with some spores in it,
Yeah.
and it's flapping against the wall, and they think that's the blob, but it's not. So they think like, okay, well, it was all just a coincidence. That's fine. And then,
Ooh, big word.
yeah.
That's a joke for people who read this book.
That's right. Insane.
Take that, listener.
Or for Lou making fun of me because I can't read the book.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you done with that book? He's like, I got 14 pages left. I'm like, 14 pages? That's like a minute and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
It was like 27 minutes, actually.
Yeah, there's a part in the book where the guy, he's just like, it was a coincidence. And Adam's like, oh, big word. Like, fuck you, Adam.
Yeah.
It's
But like, Adam makes fun of him at like a butcher's shop by like playing with the meat.
Yeah. And
And
Zachy gets
it
mad.
upsets him. It upsets Zachy so much that he goes home and writes like hate writes, and he's just like, and Adam's dick falls off, and he fucking steps on it, and his mom calls him a bitch, and then he gets spit in his hair,
Yeah.
and like, and then he feels better,
Cathartic.
but like, yeah. Oh, I forgot a part. Like in the basement, they hear a slap, 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 and at first I thought it was Matt jerking off down there, but
I wrote that too.
it
I wrote it was
wasn't.
definitely somebody jacking it.
He pulls the beef prank by like there's like a full butchered cow just hanging, and the kids go behind the counter and make it say fresh meat,
Yeah.
fresh meat. Like, fucking sucks. He writes his anger story. He forgot bread, and his mom was like, "Well, I have a fancy dinner," so he has to go back to town. And he goes there and he watches cops die. because he wrote that the monster attacks the town and eats 2 cops and follows him home. So he runs away from the monster. He falls off his bike because he wrote it. Alex is just like, what is this special effects? It must be a balloon. And he like pokes it and fucking dies, which is sick because that kid's an asshole.
Yep.
I stopped writing notes after this.
So I could jump in on that.
Yeah.
Well, when the cops are, the best line of the entire book is when the cops,
The nightsticks made a soft flopping sound.
Yeah, instead of shooting the monster or attacking the monster, they're hitting the tongue, making a ploppy noise, like Ann said. Like it's so stupid.
Well, no, it makes sense because they said it was a pink monster, and the only African American in town is Miss Carter. So the cops, of course, did not see it as a threat.
The threat level was low.
Yeah,
most of the cops were down at that shop.
Yeah, the pink monster screamed ACAB and swallowed both officers whole.
But then there's another part where when Adam does get eaten, I think there's like a kind of a missed opportunity because like he's like, yo, what is this, a balloon? And he goes up to it and just the monster eats him, and there's no. It would have been like. I don't know if this is just because I read a lot of like horror stuff, but like he wasn't like mesmerized, he wasn't like in a trance, and he wasn't, and there's no bully payoff of like oh this Alex kid's like a dick. So he's like, yo, this monster's fake when you got special effects, and when the monster eats him, there's no scream of terror, there's no payoff of seeing like a bully being eaten. He just kind of like on the Creepshow 2 when the Venus flytrap eats the bully and there's like a payoff at the end and stuff. There's zero payoff. It's just he gets on his bike and runs home because the monster chases him. So I don't know.
Like, well, that happened. And just
when you get to that point of the actual monster attack is maybe like 2 pages. Attacking the town. So there's like it's not chaos. There's no chaos and mayhem and destruction. It's just he eats some cops and eats some bully with zero payoff anywhere. And I found that a little disappointing, actually.
Yeah, it would be nice to see that.
I think there's a scene
out.
too where they just say like the monster was there. Like it's not like what is that over the thing? Like a pink gross head he's seen from over the fence. There's no reveal. It's just like, oh, sick, here it is. Like
he just turns his head and there it is.
Yeah, it was tough too. Like trying to figure out like how big like the actual blob is. Like it's attacking a town, but is it like bigger than a car? Is it like as big as a room?
Right, because then it also
doesn't make sense. I mean, we only have the cover.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it follows Zachy home, and it has no problem entering the house too. And I know it's amorphous, but still,
whoa,
like I know, big word. It's right up there with coincidence.
Well, I'm gonna look that up. I don't know what that means. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
So it does get in the house with no problem. So you do wonder how big it is. But it does follow Zachy home, and it's going to eat him. But then, and Alex, I think, is there too, right?
Yeah.
And but he knows now that he could just type on the typewriter, and he could undo it, right? So he goes to do that, but the blob eats the typewriter. Fuck, that sucks. So then he's like, you know what? I also have this pen. It's probably magic too. Let's try that out. And
gulp.
Fool him once. Shame on him. Fool him twice. He's a fucking idiot. So it takes the pen, eats the pen, and then he's like, well, you know what? It's probably me. This is a Space Jam moment where he's like, the magic was inside me all along. And it's just...
I believe I can fly.
Yeah, it's just water in there. And so he just, this is insane where I thought, okay, well, he's the source of the power. So like, he'll just get a normal pen and he'll just like write a story. But all he has to do now is think, apparently. It's like The Secret, right? Like you wish it and it comes true.
And he's like, weed.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
And
hey, man.
So it works. I mean, the
Cherry Berry Man. Sorry.
We need you, man.
The monster disappears and he's good to go, and they live happily ever after. And here we get to the part you did not read, right, Lou?
Right.
So
correct.
Here's what I'll say about that, and you guys can weigh into, those of you who read it. I think, Lou, I think you did it right. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Oh.
Skip chapter 33. I didn't care for it. I think we could do without it.
Interesting.
Ant, Lou, what do you guys think? I mean, Ant and Dave.
I kind of liked it. Like, I thought it was like interesting that it's like a blob writing a story to like his blob friend, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like
it's
that's
fun.
That's the
Pretty
twist.
I think I was just turned off.
Yeah, it's a blob fucking.
What?
Wait, wait, is that real? Like the blob wrote the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's the last chapter. That's a twist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
And of course,
interesting.
he has to bring race into it again because he's like the pink blob wrote the story to his friend the green blob, and I'm like, why's he got to be a green blob, dude? That's so fucking racist.
yeah, it's like it reminded me of like Men in Black, like the end of the movie when they zoom out and it's like two aliens playing marbles with Earth.
Yeah,
Weird.
this one it just
That's
zoomed out and it
intense.
was just R.L. Stein playing with his balls.
Yeah.
He's like, "Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Hi,
I
I'm
mean
R.L.
that
Stein."
that could be interesting in a way where like, but then why wouldn't the blob write a story? Like, I mean, are the blob terrified of the kids? Are kids
Yes.
But why aren't they beating them up, or why aren't they like assaulting the?
Well, it's
Well,
terrifying.
they
Doesn't
say
make any
that.
sense.
Yeah, it's terrifying to them that they were foiled, that they did not beat the kids, you know?
And then Green Blob is just like, you should have a happy ending where the kids fucking die. And he's like, well, let me rewrite it. And you're like, oh no, these fake kids in this fake book for these fake monsters are going to die.
Yeah.
It should have ended with
Interesting.
R.L. Stein being like, I finished the story. And then my wife calls me and says, can you bring up paper towel? And I'm like, not now. Like, I go to the bathroom and take a juicy shit and go upstairs for my manwich. Like, the end.
Yeah, or like he was dreaming or something. Like the book ends where he's in bed and then there's like or he's going down to the basement or something like that, and there's really a monster down there that I don't know. I got nothing. It doesn't really make any sense. It's confusing.
But it's also a twist that's an actual twist.
Yeah, it's the only thing I didn't like about it is how corny it was, but I can't really penalize it for that because all the books are like that. It's for kids, so.
Did you say how horny the blob was?
What's that? The blob is horny?
Did you say how horny the blob was?
Oh, yes, I did. It bothered me how horny he was because I was also horny, and the fact that we have to socially distance and we can't kiss makes me mad.
So what was good? Do you guys have any good writing?
Ant?
You want to take it, Ant?
I like when he was describing Mrs. Jax, the platinum-haired woman who had like about a dozen chins. So when I read that, I was like, "Whoa, there's 2 blobs in this book."
Nice.
You sound like R.L. Stein. over there.
Masterful.
That's your only good?
I liked how I forget who it was who they like to eat Pop-Tarts raw. I was like,
Yes.
that's the only way to eat Pop-Tarts. Like, how else could you eat them, you know?
Yeah.
It's called a toaster.
No, you eat those shits raw.
No, man. I have I mean, I have more questions than notes, but I do have there's an awful lot of jump scares in this book, which is kind of cool. Like there's a throwaway chapter, I mean a throwaway line in chapter 2 where like this like shadow rushes in the room and brushes against everybody and freaks everybody out, but it's really just the cat. The mouse in the locker, the glove in the basement. Like there's a couple things that are kind of like a little jump scary, which for a book like this, I guess it works. Between like you get a cool scare and then you get like another 8 chapters of filler, and then you get a cool scare and then another couple chapters, which I don't really understand. And then
I actually hold on, Lou. I had a question too. There was like a part where it said it would be cool to write by candlelight. That scary stories should always be written by candlelight. I wonder if that's how like R.L. Stein writes his books.
oh yeah, like you can't see the page and shit. He's like, I'm just gonna write a bunch of words.
That would make sense.
His pungus is hanging out.
Yeah,
That's how he takes his baths.
Hey, I'm gonna
by
write this
candlelight.
book. I'm gonna write this book here. So question for the
This
room.
book.
I love it.
question for
Like
the
he
room.
is from New York, R.L. Stine, but like I would love, because we've seen him talk. He always, like, at the beginning of the episodes, he's like, "Hello, I'm R.L. Stine. Welcome to my dead house." Like, but like if he was just like, hey you guys, welcome to my fucking house.
Hey, you want to read these fucking books? I don't give a shit, but I gotta read these fucking books.
Hey, this ain't the only
my
fucking
yard.
This ain't the only fucking dummy. You dummy.
My fucking tomatoes.
The sauce.
But I do have a question for the group. Do you think that the blob monster's tongue is spicy? And like, what does the mouth smell like? Because I think it has like a garbagey, garlicky smell. But I'm just kind of curious because there's also a missed opportunity to really get like gross out shit. Like really get gross out with like the monster, descriptions of the monster and stuff like that. Except like his tongue is hot. That's all you get. But you don't really get anything else. No, it's warm. It's not even hot. It's warm. So
no, but it's
They
like
use the
very
word sour.
Yeah, he does say
It's like warheads.
dank. It's got a dank mouth.
It's like
Some fucking sour diesel.
It's like original recipe lemon warheads. Sour
Delicious.
spray.
Okay.
Love that.
I mean, that's like delicious. That's not really. I thought it'd be like more like a, like you throw garbage out in a can and it rots in the summertime, and you open it, you're like, bleh, like that kind of smell.
What do you like?
Like a, or like you ever like try to curl in a ball and smell your own butthole, and you end up just rolling around the room, and you're building up some sweat. So like that.
Are you trying to do Sonic at home? Are you like building your own Sonic level?
No, because the closer you get to the butthole, your balance gets off, and you just roll a little more, and you're. It's like it's like the smells and.
What kind of yoga are you doing?
Yogurt?
He's playing Metroid. He's trying to get into small areas and go into ball mode.
I'm trying to go under my couch and shit, like roll around.
You're like a popple.
For my good, I like the electric shock, and I like that the street was still wet. It glowed under the street lights like a mirror. It didn't look real. I think like saying something didn't look real is a good description, especially for R.L. Stine. And I like that the candle flame seemed to throb in the rhythm with my heart. And describing that he's, instead of being like, I sure was scared, which like normally is what we get.
Quickly, my good is I like chapter 1. I like it's creative. It's different than our usual chapters because it's a series of starts to a novel for Jackie, and that's pretty cool. Page 11, when they go into the shop, they go, "Ooh, it stinks," and I always think that's funny. On page 12, they go into the shop and it says "keep out," but they go in and the book is like, "Yeah, it said keep out, but it was too late. We were already inside." It's just like so fucking funny because there's like no stakes to that. You can just take a step backward.
It's so funny because it's like she's like, "Hey, it says keep," and then she looks and he's already inside. Like in your head, it's just the comedy plays out. It's
yeah.
Cool.
There's some other stuff in here too. Like I just think the caliber of writing was better. On page 80, they say like the basement spread out before us as a black pit and stuff like that. There's just some cool imagery. Page 94, I agree with Lou that I wish there were more of like a panicked city being under siege from a blob, but I do think all of page 94 is cool because there's like all these people running past. It's like the scene in like Infinity War when like the fucking ship comes to Earth for the first time and everyone's running through the streets of New York. And so it's like, what's his problem? I wondered. He's too dressed up to be jogging. Whoa, I had to swerve to the curb as a blue station wagon roared toward me. The woman at the wheel honked her horn and waved frantically to me. Her tires squealed as she shot around the corner. Everyone is in such a hurry today. He heard a man scream, call the police. There's people screaming. It says cars honked. People were screaming, "Hey, what's going on? Is there a fire or something?" I don't know. There was a lot of panic there. That was pretty cool. And on page 100, the term plopping wetly is used, and that's nice.
Nice.
How about your bad, everybody?
Guests?
Well, I just want to add to one good. In chapter 23, Zach actually quotes My Chemical Romance, where he's like, "I'm not okay."
Wow.
I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, wow, a little ahead of his time.
Yeah.
I would agree.
My bad is more of a philosophical bad of like, there's some really cool parts in this book, and there's some chapters that really were in there for no reason. And like, I think that if you tighten the book up a little more and maybe got a little more descriptive with some monster stuff and just situations happening, I think it would have been a better read, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my bad. It's not necessarily a thing in the book. It's like I said, like the incessant arguing for pages and pages and pages, and that stuff doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
That I would agree with that. That was mine too. It was just like the arguing and arguing. You're like, come on already, like,
Yeah.
just get it, you know?
You could restructure to make it a little more compelling.
Yeah.
Agreed. One thing I just want to ask you guys, because this makes no sense to me. So it says, I wasn't scared at all, Adam claimed. I was just trying to scare you guys. He reached over and rubbed the palm of his hand back and forth over my head. Don't you hate it when people do that? The fuck is that? Like, he's like, you know, like everybody does. And I'm like, nobody just... like, rubs you? He's like, don't you hate it when people take their palm and just rub your head? I'm like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Is that a thing? That's what I'm asking. Is
No.
that
It's like it's a soft noogie. That's what that is.
because a
Let's
noogie
open
make
face
that a
noogie.
thing.
My God. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wild.
instead of shaking hands, that's how we'll like say hi to each other from now on.
Oh, yeah, that's the new.
Not on my
There
fucking
used to
watch.
be, I don't know if I've said this on the show, but there used to be the Zap High Five for Zap
I
Comics.
know that.
I made it, and I made it to make Corey mad. And what it is you high five each other, and then you deeply breathe in and inhale, smelling your hand. And it's meant to be uncomfortable, but we realize like that is probably why COVID spread. It's like literally
What you shouldn't do.
it's like, what have you touched? Now deeply inhale it.
Yeah.
Other
in my
bad stuff.
face.
I hated like it's such like a old shitty horror movie thing when they're like, whoa, what happened to the antique store? And like two women are just like, real shame. Lightning struck, lit the whole place on fire. And like then it says like the two women disappeared around the corner, tisking as they walk. They're like, yeah, crazy fire.
Yeah.
Just walking away, making
like a Simpsons skit. Yeah.
yeah. I hate they needed Alex in a scene on page 42, so it literally just says then Alex appeared and she's just in the scene after dinner.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter.
Shortcut.
The raindrops bounced like balls in every direction. Like
Bizarre.
it's like a weird description because that's not how rain works ever.
Yeah.
And then I loved eating Pop-Tarts raw. I think it's such a good 90s detail, but he literally used it last book. So I'm
Yeah, I
like,
was going to
you
say
just-
it was a few books ago or something.
Or Chicken
That's like
Chicken.
a second Pop-Tart reference?
Because
Same
in
exact.
Chicken, they were running away, and he was like, yeah, we left so fast, we didn't even have time we grabbed Pop-Tarts and ate them raw.
Yeah.
Huh.
The second time saying raw, right? Like I think if we were just talking, we would say like, oh, just out of the package or untoasted or something, not raw.
I love the detail. I think it's a great detail.
Yeah.
But, like, it makes me mad now that he knows it's a great detail, and he keeps using it.
Yeah, I have no qualms with it, but yeah, we did just see it.
Yeah. It's like he
Or
made
that
a
or-
really good... What's up?
Well, do you think he just like discovered like Pop-Tarts? Like, oh, these are pretty good. These Pop-Tarts are pretty good. I like them when you don't cook them. They're pretty good. I'm gonna put them in my books.
His toaster broke.
He's like, I wish I had a blob with a hot tongue so I can toast these up.
Is that all?
I just remember Wildberry. We went off on Pop-Tarts 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I don't need to go into that
Pop-Tart
Pop-Tart
talk.
world tangent again.
That's all your bad, Dave.
That's all my bad.
All right, real quick. I have Adam's dad in the beginning steps on the cat. What the fuck is that? Watch where you're going. Page 28, it says, Zachy, I think, let me just turn to it because it's an absolutely insane sentence. Oh, I dragged the typewriter into the ranch house where I live. What the fuck? Like
Ranch.
I dragged the typewriter into the ranch house where I live. Bizarre.
Into the Thousand Island house where I live.
Well, just to address, like, get rid of the word ranch, even into the house where I live. What the fuck are you doing? Just say I dragged it home.
I went into a house. I don't live here.
My split level. You know, I dragged it upstairs to split level.
Yeah.
That's in my house.
On page 29, Mom is like passive aggressive in this book. She's sort of like mean. She likes she's dunking on the typewriter, and she's like laughing, rolling her eyes. Mom rolled her eyes. Next, Zachy will be writing with a feather quill and an inkwell, she said. They both laughed. It's like, hey son, your hobbies? Fucking stupid. All right? Not going to get you anywhere. I don't support you, by the way, or love you.
You like baseball? How about you home run yourself into a fucking ditch, you bitch?
Yeah. And then
like, sick one, Mom.
A
Thanks.
few pages later, Zachy makes a joke, and Mom's like, Mom shook her head. I don't know where Zachy gets his sense of humor. Not from my side of the family. Like, wild.
Yeah.
And then I could do without chapter 33. That's it.
All right. I demand a divorce, Mom said.
Yeah, like I said, this book is more about a dysfunctional family, and
yeah,
you called it.
It's like our life.
Like there's like I said, there's two in chapter 22. The dad's like, hey, you want to go get a? Oh no! Or before that, he's like, hey, you guys want to go get ice cream? And they're like, nah. He's like, no, okay. And then like when dad's in the basement, in chapter 22, like he knows his kid's afraid of the dark. He knows he's got a fear of the dark. And he's like, hey, buddy, you want to hang out for a while? And he's like, nah. And the dad's like, oh.
I love it. After he says no, and just because he's like, hey, you two, because Alex is there. He's like, you two want to get ice cream? And Alex is like, sorry, I already had dessert. And he's like, no, Dad, I'm writing scary stories. He's like, I think Dad just wanted an excuse for ice cream. And I'm like, maybe he's just trying to connect with his child.
Exactly. But now that you guys told me the twist, this all makes sense why a lot of this is happening, because it's from a Blob's perspective. So this is the Blob writing like what he thinks that human families are like.
That's true.
And the Blob is, so all these things that are happening is from this weird blobby state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the Blob is racist, not R.L. Stein. Be like, listen, dude, it was the Blob writing it. It was fucked up.
Yeah, that does reframe the book in posterity.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have our spook, our best dressed, our alt title, witch, etc. Boys, what's your spook and scare?
My spook would be the cat jump scare in the beginning, and the scare would be the gross side of beef that just came out of nowhere. There's no reason for it, and the description of it, and just the hanging carcass, is pretty fucking gross.
Yeah.
In general. That's my best dressed. I don't really have a best dressed. I guess Alex, because she wears glasses, is kind of cool.
Cool. I accept that.
Yeah. That's pretty much, because there's really no description of what anybody else wears, except one kid, the Adam kid, has like a wet T-shirt at some point.
Hot.
Yeah, in the rain. And the round rain like drops. The ball rain
balls.
Let's do one at a time. Ant, what's your spook and scare?
I liked when he was like the Blobs like in the room and they're describing him, how it's like disgusting and sour.
Yeah. There is
throbbing.
some good description there to get up close with the Blob.
Yeah.
And then you realize the Blob
you can almost smell him.
Yeah, you could smell him. And there's actually no Blob. Zachy just had a big load, and he refers to it as the Blob. And it smells like those trees outside. Dave, what's your spook and scare?
When he just like goes into, they're like, hey, that's a building that the roof collapsed and was on fire and hit by lightning. And it's like, don't go in there. And I'm the kind of person that's like, is no one around? Let's go in there. Mm-hmm. And there's always the chance something bad's going to happen, but it never does. But this kid gets like, he steps in a puddle where there's like a wire down or some shit and like fucking gets shocked and dies. That's like realistically the one thing that should have happened to me by now, but hasn't. So that's why it's my...
That's thing. Fair. I would say for me, it's the knock on the door. Like he wrote there'd be a knock and then there was. It just reminds me of like that episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, where like there is the monkey paw, and they wish for like their dead grandpa to come back, and like the car pulls up and there's a knock on the door. Like, fuck that. I don't want any reanimated thing entering my domicile.
Come to think of it, unless I have like a Uber Eats coming, don't knock on my door.
Yeah,
like, I don't want
actually, with
like don't fucking come see me.
With deliveries and stuff, like we order Domino's, we always put the note in like, do not ring the door. Like, just leave it. Like we're good, you know. Yeah, I don't want any. I basically don't want any contact. I don't want.
So when that Uber Eats pulls up, there's just two faces looking out the window, like two faces and a cat face looking down, like it's there.
Yeah. Bring it up, leave it on the porch. Thank you. Best dressed.
Even Amazon's like, they take a photo. They're like, yeah, I fucking put it here.
Yeah.
And you're like, thanks, dude.
Great. I'm cool with that.
Very good.
We got Lou's best dressed. Ant, how about you?
My best dressed?
Give me a
I
best
guess would
dressed.
be. I liked when Mrs. Jack made her way from the register.
Oh, sure.
Huffing and puffing down the aisle.
Yeah, the second blob, as we've established.
Yes.
Dave, how about you?
Okay. This part, it's the blob, the first blob from the first story. I like this because it makes it sound like a pussy. And I think that is funny.
Keep talking.
Terrifying groans escaped my throat. My heart began to pound, blah, blah, blah. I took another step back. Then, as I backed away, I saw a crack open up in the creature's middle. At first, I thought the pink blob was cracking apart. But as the crack grew wider, I realized I was staring at its mouth. The mouth opened wider, wide enough to swallow a human. Basically, it says the tongue made a wet splat as it hit the grass. But the one part, there's a part where it's like covered in jizz. And that was pretty good. Oh, yeah. It says, it was pink and wet and throbbing. Brum, brum, brum. It pulsed like a heart. It had two tiny black eyes. The eyes glowed and stared straight ahead. On top of the pink blob, I thought I saw curled up snake's pubes. But as I stared in horror, I realized they weren't snakes. They were thick purple veins, arteries. Now it's like a dick. Yeah. And it said, I groaned as I saw the sticky trail of white slime jizz.
Oh, yeah.
It left behind it in the grass.
I did make a mental note of that.
So,
Jizzed in the wheat.
So does that mean that the blob was a like his tongue was just a giant warm clit, and the veins on top were like varicose veins, like near a vaginal opening?
If you look at the art on the front, it kind of looks like a dick. And then there's a part where it talks about like the head of the monster, which is like the whole thing is a head. So I'm like, you're just...
You mean the perineum?
Just a dick with like a... Yeah, pretty much. It is a dick-looking monster, right? It looks like a dick that has like a fucking weird, like flaccid dick coming out of it.
So it's like a dick. It's like a. So then is the mouth like a giant urethra, or is there like a fistula or fissure or whatever that is?
All I know is that there's a white goo that follows it. It's jizzing everywhere.
So that's
the pungus that jizzed everyone. The pungus that jizzed everywhere. Oh shit, that's my alt title. No one take it.
Hey, that's a twofer. So we got your best dressed and your alt title. That's very efficient. Lou, what's your alt title?
My alt title will be Plop.
Oh, that's so good and so relevant. Ant.
Mine would be, oh yeah.
That's
excellent.
That's good. I wrote mine would be Zacky Attacky. Where's the witch? Well, I think we all have a consensus that Zacky's the witch. No, or would you say it's the shopkeeper?
Warlock-ish? Yeah.
Zacky becomes the witch, but I think Beyonce, Miss Carter, is the original witch, the OG witch.
Okay.
Our most luscious liquor, I think. I mean, look at the cover. It's the Blob, right?
It's the Blob.
Ant, do you have the alternate cover in there to hold up?
Yeah, it's in my backpack though.
Oh.
And
yeah, it's like the newer cover, I guess, that like fills the whole book.
It's pretty nice. They did Yeah, it's a nice new artist and stuff, but super solid, and you can tell it really takes off from this one. But yeah, is that all the shit we do?
That's it. My last question is, Brian, is this my pube? Let us know. And I think that's all we got. Dave, anything else?
I don't have anything, but I'd like. Is there anything you'd like to plug, Lou and Ant?
Yeah, tell us what's
Ant,
going
you're
on.
Just started a new venture.
Yes. I've been being apprenticed by Lou and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Right on.
It's a new journey in my life.
Do you want to shout out
So-
the shop where you're working?
Oh yeah, it's at Artisanal Tattoo in Somerville, New Jersey.
Right on. If you're in Central, North, basically if you're in New Jersey or nearby, come on out.
It's a great shop. We spent some time there. There's a YouTube video.
Yep.
I love your flash sheet that I saw online. I was working the day you were doing it. The fart.
The
Sparrow.
fart eagle, yeah. That's my buddy
eagle,
did it
yeah.
actually, but that's
Did it,
available if anybody needs it. There's another one that has a banner that says tits on it. So,
Oh,
So there's that.
but yeah, I mean, I've just been. I guess the only thing I'll plug is the website criticalhittattoo.com, and
Hell yeah.
you know, if I'm doing any kind of dates or any kind of updates or anything coming up, it'll be on there. You know, you can buy a bunch of cool stuff like stickers and all these things I make. And yeah, actually, I put the link to that video of you guys on the website, so you can go there and watch it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, just come get tattooed by Ann. He's starting out. He needs a lot of skin donations. So if anybody's out there wants to come down and get some starter tattoos, we're always there.
and I know anytime you've heard me ask for a skin donation, this is a different kind.
I'm pulling on my
Yeah,
collar.
like a
It's
pity
visual
fuck.
joke. Yeah.
Showing.
Yeah, go see them. Check them out. Social media them. Art with what is it? It's art.
ArtfromAnt is my
ArtfromAnt.
Instagram and stuff. Yeah.
And there is everything's there. Well, of course, just check our Instagram. We will tag everybody on there, and yeah, good hanging with you boys on this fine Sunday morning.
Boys,
Yeah, thank you. As
so
always,
much for taking the time.
So much fun, and this podcast is awesome. Keep going, guys.
Yeah.
Bless you for
Badass,
saying that.
man.
Thank you, guys.
And go buy the Colonel Creeps t-shirts because they're really cool. I bought mine in pink because it's awesome.
Oh, hell
I saw
yeah.
that you had it. Very
Everybody
appreciated.
go buy them now.
Beautiful.
We make zero. We literally make like less than $1 for every shirt that's sold. So wait until they're on sale, and just if you want one, to get one. Like, don't do it to help us. Do it because you want it.
No,
we just
yeah.
put it out there because we can't print them ourselves. We're not good enough. But yeah, they're there.
Yeah, definitely wait for that.
We'll make a
$13
pungus.
sale.
Make a pungus shirt for everybody.
Fungus.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Calling all
pungus.
punguses.
There you go.
All punguses.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys.
See you later, guys.